So welcome to this book talk on Tidal Waters. And we are so fortunate that Velia flew all the way from Colombia to come and bring us her amazing book and also share the stage, talk about this book and among other things. So welcome to Nairobi. We say Karibu Nairobi. And of course, welcome to each one of you. I will make this conversation as open as possible. So if you have any questions that come up, just keep a note of them, and then at the end, we will do a Q&A. So allow me to read Velia's bio, because you will see why. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Wendy Njoroge. I'm a bookseller, a publisher, a book clubber, serial book clubber, and a bit of a hoarder when it comes to books. So Velia Vidal is a writer who loves the sea and shared readings. In 2021, she was a fellow at Villa Josefa in Germany for her book Tidal Waters. She won the Afro-Colombian Authors Publication Grant awarded by the Colombia's Ministry of Culture. She's the co-author of Hoy Somos Rio, and its bilingual German-Spanish edition. She's the founder and director of Moderator Educational and Cultural Corporation and the Choco Reading and Writing Festival called Flecho. Vidal graduated in Afro-Latin American Studies and has a master's in Reading, Education, and Children's Literature. She's also a journalist and a specialist in social management and communication. And in 2022, she was chosen by the BBC as one of the 100 most influential women in the world. Let's clap, guys. So thank you for joining us. And I think before we get into the book, Tidal Waters, we can speak a little bit about yourself and your work. Yes, just get to know you better. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how growing up in Bahia Solano has influenced your journey and the way you see the world, whether as a cultural activist or a writer. Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for staying here. Thank you, Wendy, for reading my book. I am really excited, but I am nervous because my English is not really good. I try.
You're in good company. English is also like my third language, so don't
worry.
We are all making it work.
And sometimes I am thinking that I understand all, and no, I don't understand. Okay, yes, I was born in Vallasolano. Vallasolano is a really small town in the Pacific coast in Colombia. And it's really important that this is the department of Chocó, yes? A state, yes, it's an state in Colombia. And this state is have all border with Panama, yeah? We are the all connection with the Central America, with South America, and we have coast in the Caribbean and Pacific coast. We have the 10% to the biodiversity of the world, yeah, and the 71% to people in the department be Afro-Colombian people, yes. We are the second place in the world with mass raining. And for this, the water is really important for us. Yeah, we are really connected with the water of the sea, with the water of the rain, and the rivers are really important. We have 3 most important rivers: Atrato rivers, San Juan rivers, and Baudor rivers. Yeah, and for us, the life is not possible if we want connection with the water. This is my place in the world.
I'm glad you've painted that picture, that geographic picture for us. And I think we'll see it when we do some of the reading, is that like the sea, the water, the jungles, everything is so central to the character that we meet in the book, right? But let's talk a little bit about your other work, which is your foundation. You have a foundation called Motete, and the Fletcher Festival that serves thousands in Choco. What was your inspiration to start the work, and how has it been received?
Okay, 10 years ago, I was living in Medellin. Yes, I was living here because when I was studying my university in the Antioquia University, I traveled to Medellin. Usually, the Choco people need to go to another cities in Colombia for going to best universities. Yes. And I was studying here, and when I finished my university, I started to job here with an amazing life. But one day I say, I need a purpose in my life. Yes. And I feeling sad, boring, and I say, I don't know, my job is good, my husband is good, my friends, my house, but I need to connect with another. But I need a deep connection. And we decide to come back to Choco. Yes. And it was really strange for my family, but if you have a perfect life in Medellin, why to decide to stop this and come back to Choco? In Choco, the people is poor. In Choco, we don't need the service, the rice. We don't need a connection. But I say, I have no idea. I only feel that I need this. Yeah? And I come back to Choco, and I was a question, what is my purpose in the life? Yes? And I was another question, when I will be 60 years or 70 years, what is the story that I will be talk with the another people? Yes, if in the future I will be I will be grandmother, yes. What is the story that I can write or say it? And I was feeling that I needed to connect with my people, the black people, yes. And I needed that I want to read all time and write all time. In this moment, when I come back to Choco, was a moment to the elections, to the mayors, yes, and local governments. And all time I was listening to people, and I was looking the activities. And I was maybe, I don't know, idea, maybe. We have a lot organization, international organizations, and they attend the basic needs. Yes, for example, the program to the foods, yes, the work to the foods program in the work, the United Nations ACNUR, the program to the refugees, because we have a lot victims to the violence in Colombia. And I was thinking, okay, and where are the programs to the soul? Yes, where are the programs to the culture? The culture is a really important right, yes? And the programs for the communities are being concentrated in the bodies' rights, yes, in the basic needs, yes. And Federico Garcia Lorca is a really interesting and important Spain writer, yes. He died, I don't know, 50 years ago, yes. Was killed for the government dictatorial in Spain, yes. And when I arrived to Quibdó, I found a small book to Federico Garcia Lorca, yes. And this book was a really inspiration for me, yes. It's a half bread and one book, maybe. Medio pan y un libro is maybe the name to this book. And when I was reading this book, it's at the discourse to the Federico when start the first public library in your town, yes? And for me was like Federico was talking, yes, speaking for me, yes? And I need to start to job about this. I need to make to the Federico speak for me. Yes, and with this, I start to make book club with children in Quibdó and with women, yes, with teachers. Yes, we start working with teachers, children, and women.
Wow, amazing. What an inspiration. For the Swahili speakers in the room, maybe you've heard of Kurudi Ushago, which basically means, going back to the village. And it's usually not told in a really good light. So, for instance, when somebody says, you want to send me back to the village, it's, in a scary way. But you chose to do that, right? You are moving from this big city, you've ticked all the boxes, have a good life, have a good career, but still there's something missing. And then you fold up your life and say, okay, I'm just going back home and I'm going to my people and I'm going to bring them what feeds me, which is writing, reading, communing with books. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about the book now, Tidal Waters, which, as I was reading it, it felt like I was eavesdropping, almost like I was witnessing a conversation that I shouldn't, because it's a novel that's told in letters, yeah? And you chose to name your character very similar to your name, Velia. But also what's more interesting about Tidal Waters is that Velia has a similar-ish kind of inspiration as your own life, because she leaves Medellin and moves back home to Choco as a way to build a life that has purpose and meaning, and she also establishes a literary center, a writing career, a festival for her people and for herself. And so we witness this journey of hers through a series of letters that she's writing to a dear friend of hers who we don't know. But over the years, we get to see her journey. I'm very curious to know, why did you choose to write a novel in letters?
Okay. Yeah. I was she, but now I am not she. Yes? This is a special difference. Really, I am noted that I write in a book, yes. When we decide to come back to Chocó, I sent a message for a friend, yes. Because I decided not to make a parties for say bye-bye. No, I only said some people we have little meetings, dinners, breakfast with the most important friends in Medellin. And for one friend, I sent a message. Okay, I going to Chocó. I will be going to Chocó, and I want to talk with you and say goodbye. Yes, and he wrote for me. Yes, it's good. I can meet with you, but it's not. It's a very big news. Please talk me about this. Yes, and in this moment we start letters, correspondence. Yes, when I was living in Vallasolano, sometimes I going to the major building because here they was internet connection. In my house we don't have, and I sent a letter. Okay, my life is good. I am okay. Yes, and send letter for he, and we was making a very big friendly about the letters. Yes, with the letters we made about relationship. Yes, and in 2019, yes, I was in the Bogota Book Fair. Yes, and in an editor said me, I want to give this book. This book is a book of letters, Memorias por Correspondencia, that Emma Reyes, she was a very important artist in Colombia, and we have a book with letters, and I say to this editor, I have a correspondence with a friend, yeah? And she say me, I know to see. Oh, okay, another. Okay, maybe this will be a book. Yes, was the Felipe idea. Yeah. And next, we decide to make this book, and I needed to write the book because it's different, the original correspondence to the book. Yes, we need select the letters, we need select the topics, and write more information about the some ideas in the letters.
That's amazing, and it's interesting how some ideas find us. I don't know who in the room. When was the last time you received a letter? Anyone in the room this year? Has anyone sent you a physical letter? In the last 5 years? Oh, one person. in the last 10 years? Okay, maybe in the last 10 years. So you're very lucky today because I'm going to read you a letter so we can cross that tick. And let me see where we will read. Okay. So Velia already gave me the permission to read on her behalf. So feeling very privileged. You prefer? Can you use this? No. This is fine. 112. Oh, okay. So I'm reading from page 112. Should you finally get this book? And this letter is dated 22nd March of 2018. Do you remember where you were? Anyway, now you're already in the story, so let's go. And I'll pick somewhere from the middle end. And so our character is saying, I'm writing these words then for the official opening of Fiesta de la Lectura, with the firm intention of reading them aloud so that they can be heard, and then read by others and for others, thereby forming this precious circle of words in which we Chokwans already have the advantage already have the advantage because of our oral culture, and which is completed by this act of writing the words down to make them last. Writing with no thought of being published, with no dreams of making money, just writing, almost as a natural consequence of reading and then thinking and then expressing what our desire dictates. Writing what's more with the suspicion so often confirmed that in doing so, from our place in the world, we offer a unique perspective, one that's only possible here, where the Pacific and the Caribbean meet and receive the waters of three great rivers that begin small and then gradually widen, joined by thousands of tributaries, which are the love that makes them grow. It's a perspective that you could only ever come from Choco, this great jungle between two seas, one of the most biodiverse corners of the world, which finished off its beauty with a huge historic mistake, slavery. A mistake we find painful and condemn, but which, in the long run, has allowed us to complete the circle of biodiversity and given this place already so rich in nature the good fortune to be inhabited not solely by indigenous people, but also by mixed race mestizos and different and direct descendants of Africa. All three, on coming together here, in this land of water and rain, seas, and humidity, were fertilized and gave rise to a particular culture. It's a culture of Choco. It's often said that Chocoans are the Pacific, that we're Africa in Colombia, and there's some truth to both these expressions. However, they also reduce us because that's not all we are. Choco is a Caribbean, Choco is indigenous Colombia, and as our Embera brothers and sisters rightly say, it's also Eyabida of the mountain, Dobida of the river, Pusabida of the sea, and with each little part of what we are, we form a melting pot where culture no longer has limits and instead simply exists. So, look, even though it's one woman's account of her life, she takes us to a certain place, a place where she comes from. And you've also mentioned, how, the river and the being between these two seas is also a part of the people in Choco, right? But you've presented that to us. Wait, where's my question? This is a problem of being an unexperienced reader. Okay, but let me ask some other question, because I think I'm trying to squeeze in time and have some questions. So Velia, the character in the book, as we see her evolution of work, but also in her own life, especially how her ideas of love and sex and intimate relationships evolve over time. Because this book is, the letters cover 3 years, right? So we can see her changing in this correspondence. Why was it important for you to include that aspect of this character? Yeah.
Okay. After this book was published, yes, in 2020, yes, in the second semester, my life changed a lot, yes. And I needed to think in my writer life, yes, seriously. And I needed to think, okay, how is my position, political position, my cultural position, yes, now that I am building public imagine in Colombia, yes. In this book, I talk about the sexuality, I talk about the pleasure, but I talk about the education, yes, reading promotion, and it's a little complicated. And they say, okay, you are a lover and a teacher, yes? Yes, in the life you can be lover and teachers and wife and friends, yes? And for me, it's really important that we can think in the black woman with all, yes? Usually, our bodies was hypersexualized, yes? But only was thinking about the pleasure to the others. And these others usually are boys, men, and white boys, usually, yes? And where is our pleasure? Yes? Can we talk about our feelings? I think that the consequence to the slavery to be around the rights, but to be around our bodies, yes, and our possibilities to express our feelings, yes, and our pleasure. And I think that right about this is a resistance to forms. This is a form to resistance, yes, and it's necessary. I am not only the teacher. I am not only the writer. I am not only the political actor in my country, yes, an activist, not. I am a woman, yes, and I feel tired sometimes, yes, and I feel desire, yes, about, yes, desire. And my position in the present is I am not thinking in the market. I am not thinking in the specs to the others. Yes, I am thinking in my project, yes, about the writing, about the culture, and my project and my compromise is with the black people in Colombia. Yes.
And thank you for saying that. Thank you very much for saying that. Because and I think we probably all know this, many other people are allowed to exist in different forms, in different formats. But often people like us, black women, we are cast in a certain role only. And so often, especially in media, in movies and stories. So for you to write, a full 360 woman who has a private life, has a public life, and also is evolving, that is not static, because she changes her mind. She allows herself to explore, to become a different person. So thank you for doing that for us. So for you, listening to you and of course reading the work, so representation and identity is central to your work. But how do you think Afro-Colombian storytelling is evolving on a national level, within the greater country, but also on an international stage? Yeah.
Okay, I think that in this moment we are living a very interesting moment, especially because it's the first time in the history that we have a vice president is a black woman, yes, and this is really important. But I think that Colombia is a really racist country. Yes, Latin America is a really racist place. And for us, it's really difficult to have a life because all time we have the present, the racism in the quotidian life, yes, and the structural racism, yes. We need all time thinking, not only in my books, yes, my books and what is the situation, what are thinking the people, what is the walls, these racist walls that I need superar, las barreras que necesito superar, I don't know. Yes.
Deko, how many languages can you speak? Okay, but thank you for that.
But I think that in the first time to the 90 years, yes, 19 years, our communities was a very important job about their rights. And we have, for example, very important laws, and we can have the lands, we are propietarios de la tierra. Yes, we are owners. And all this movement was a very important step for the present, yes. It's not possible for a writer, a singers, dancers, different artists, or political actors have a job in the present if we don't have this moment in the story. Yes, because these laws, this process change the history and can that we say, okay, the Afro-Colombian people is real, we are here, yes, and for this we have affirmative politics, yes, and this is really important. For example, this book was the first winner to the Afro-Colombian beca, ¿cómo es que se dice? Yes, fellowship for black women in Colombia, yes?
Yeah. Oh, this is, no, I have it here in the bio. So it won the Afro-Colombian Authors Publication Award by the Colombia's Ministry of Culture.
Yes.
Okay.
And all politicals was possible for the past, yes? Because in the national constitution, yes, was the first time in 1991 that the Colombian recognized the black people.
Wow.
Yes.
After 400-500 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Only in this moment. And I think that my job today is possible for the job to my ancestors. Yes. My not grandfathers, really, because it's not a long time in reality. Yeah. For me, some days it's difficult because in a lot of things I am the first one. Yes, the first woman, Afro-Colombian, translate to English. The first woman translate to Portuguese. Yes, and it's an exception. And I think, wow, I am not really so proud for this, but it's necessary.
You're paving the way.
Yes,
Paving the way.
Yes, it's necessary.
Please clap, guys. Like no, thank you so much, and congratulations. And it can be a big hat, hat to wear, paving the way for others. But also, like you've mentioned, what you do is only possible because of the people that have gone before you and the fights that they've put up, and the battles that they've won. So, we keep stacking our wins until we get to where we need to get to. I have 3 other pages of questions, but I don't want to be that person who doesn't allow anybody else to speak. So do you have any pressing questions for Velia? Could be on her book, the work that she does with literary advocacy, her home, her favorite food. Do we have a roaming mic in the room? Can somebody help me? Okay. Sawa sawa. Ndegwa, do you want to ask a question in Spanish? I don't know why I'm putting you on the spot, but yeah. In the meantime, you want to take... Please put up your hand if you have a question. Okay.
Voy a hacer la pregunta en español. Cuando escribes y se traduce tu libro, o sea, me gustaría saber, cuando escribes inicialmente, ¿piensas en el contexto en el que escribes o escribes pensando en que se puede traducir y que hay un deseo de que se te entienda en otros sitios?
Never in my life I think that was possible that one text to me was translated to another. Never in my life I think that I can travel to another countries. We was a really poor family, yes, but I prefer don't say it usually about this, but really my possibilities when I was born was not travel, translate, go to the university. Yes, in my town, we not was libraries. Yes, they don't exist here. And for this, I only come to write about my reality, about my feelings, about my dreams, yes, about my community and our needs. I don't know, see, at the future, maybe Annie or another person can to translate this. This is another problem, and it's not my problem. Yes, this is
So
my reality.
You don't write to be understand, and, a ver, que no estás escribiendo para que se entienda en otros sitios.
No.
Vale, era...
No, my intentional readers are my people. I write for my people. Yes, the others are a gift.
Voy a preguntar en español también.
Gracias.
No he leído este libro, pero la protagonista se llama Velia, como a ti.
Yes.
¿Y por qué escogiste hacer eso?
Porque era yo.
Okay.
Yes, I said she was me. Yes, she's Velia, but it's another Velia. In this moment, I am not this Velia. I am this Velia.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I think that always when you are writing, it's fiction. Because in another moment, the reality is changing. Yes, we don't have the present. Yes. And maybe my ideas are changing all time. Yes, this is the reality. We have our real connections. But we are different.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting your journey. Now that you are thinking about generations, I was just curious. I teach. I was just curious, is there any work you have in place for the younger ones who are coming in, the little ones, that generation probably between the age of, let's say, 5 to around 13, so that they can also start appreciating the journey that you have so far? Any work in place, any dream along that line?
Okay, maybe I need help. We are talking about the children's and the youngs, yes. Mm-hmm. My perspective about this, yes?
Yes.
Okay, this is really important because I write for children. Yes, I have really in this moment, maybe I was more book for children than for adults. Yeah, because for me it's really important because the children need the representation. Yes, our children need inspirations. Our children need the rise to the imagination. If when I was a girl, I was not imagining another reality, I can't stay here now. Yes, and the books can start the imagination. Yes, and for this is really important. Yesterday in Carlo Lenny Library, the children was talk about me about another book. Yes, and in this moment, they can imagine the Choco in the another part of the world. Yes. One boy asked me about, is like the Amazonia? Is the Amazonia? Yes. And I explained for he is near. It's not the same, but it's near. And now I think that for this boy, it's possible in the future to go to Choco, to travel to Choco. Now for Choco exists. And 2 days ago, not exist. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My question is basically what my sister had asked. That is why I didn't put up my hand up for the second time. But it's amazing that a lot of us think about when we were taught about Colombia. By the way, in school we were forced to read about Colombia, and we always assume it's like a first world war. I mean, a first world country like England. So my question is basically what she had asked, a follow-up question. What would you advise any young girl, especially a young girl, in the age of maybe 6 years, 12 years, 15 years, who wants to inspire to be a writer in your country or in Kenya? What would you tell them to concentrate? What would you tell them the challenges would be? What would you advise them on what to do as a writer, as they prepare to be a writer? Sorry.
Wow, thank you for that. And I think I would agree that for writing, and also maybe for any other work, that it's important that, you know, it speaks to you first, that it comes from a real and authentic place. No, I'm just agreeing with what you've said. So that when you've created from that place which is authentic to you, the other will receive. And if the market, whatever that is, publishers or whatever, if they get it, then they get it. If not, you know, the work has already done its spiritual work. So thank you for that. So as we check on your mic, oh, okay, it's good to go. You were named as the 100 most influential women by the BBC in 2022, which is a really big honor. So I'm curious to, like, how has that affected, or not affected, but how has that, you know, what has that done for the work that you do as a journalist, as a community organizer, and as a writer? Yeah, and maybe if you can also speak to being translated and what that has done for, you know, being able to reach different audiences. Yeah.
Okay. This is really curiosity, because when I come back to Chocó, I only want to stay in my house, in the sea, in the river, yes, in my small space, yes. But I was writing, and I was reading, and I was working with my community. And next, wow, the world is... And now I was visiting 27 countries, in festival, in news, in newspapers, but it's not was my dream. Yes. But with these winners, I don't know, recognition. In the first time, I feeling uncomfortable. Yes, why? I not make anything for this. It's not important for me. But with the time, I was understanding that the inspiration is important. Yes, and with these recognitions, the children, the families say, wow, Señor Velia, we are really proud for you, because you are our in the world. Yes, and for this is good. Yes, and for this is good. And another really important thing is that sometimes I am tired, because I receive a lot of racism in Colombia for the mainstream to the literature. Yes. And sometimes I am tired. Yes, because the cultural manager job is hard. Yes, it's not easy. Make the, I don't know, patrocinadores, sponsors, it's really difficult. When one morning you wake up and, yes, you are the most inspirational woman in the world. And I say, okay, it's good, I can. And it's good for the feelings, because it's necessary. It's necessary. For example, when I came to Nigeria the last year, I say, wow, here I can know another black people making similar jobs like me. And the same here, yes? And I say, okay, now I have my inspiration, yes? And for this, it's really important to travel. Yes, and Now I miss all day the river, the sea, the jungle, but I say, okay, it's necessary.
I'm glad you've come to Kenya when it's a little cold and cooler, so the sun hasn't beaten you so much. So I hope Nairobi has been kind to you in that sense. I hope you haven't missed home too much. And it wouldn't be right to let you go without us getting our pens out, our phones out, and then we take some recommendations of what other Afro-Latinas are writing that you would recommend, because it's the one and only is good, but I'm sure there's others. You know, there's a whole community of black women from from Latin America and the Caribbean that, you know, it would be good for us on this side to look for.
Of course. Please read Marise Condé. She was a very important writer to the Caribbean. Juliana Ortiz Ruano. She's an Afro-Equatorian writer. Yes, she's excellent. And Jamila Ribeiro, yes, from Brazil. Yes, she's a really interesting academic. She writes letters, different letters, but he have a very interesting job in the literature. Juliana, Marise, and Jamila are translated to English. Yes.
Woo, look at that.
Yes.
Great. And I think that's all we have time for. So thank you so much for coming all the way to Nairobi to bring us Tidal Waters. You've taken a slice of choco and brought it right here in the middle of the savannah. We love you for it. And thank you, my dear audience, for looking really good today, for speaking Spanish that flew over my head, and really just being part of this conversation, having the most thoughtful questions. Asanteni sana. So let's do that Kenyan thing where we clap for, our guests. So, kilo claps. Okay, fine. So we're just gonna do one big clap, which is a kilo clap. So let's go. 1. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow, so sweet. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am really happy here. Thank you.
Great.